Peace, my brother.
Peace to you, bro. How you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Good, good, good.
Yo, let me just be clear, world. This is Say Word Podcast, the world's fastest, largest growing podcast. We got Mr. Marcus Sanders from the legendary Platinum Group selling High Five, one of our favorite groups of all time. Appreciate you, my guy. How's everything?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on, man. How things going with you?
Man, everything is great. Just working hard, man. Um, when I have reached out to we have a mutual friend, Sheree. Shout out to Sheree. Um, and she know I do my podcast and I interview everybody. And I gotta say this about High Five. I want you to understand what time it is. I want you to understand like the impact that High Five had on us growing up in New York. I'm from New York, so the impact that High Five had on us was legendary. I mean, from I Like the Way, Kissing Game got us in a lot of trouble, but it was a time. It was the early '90s, and you guys. I wanted to let you guys know that you guys' legacy like really impacted the world. I want you guys to understand that. I don't want you guys to don't get this twisted. You guys have really impacted a lot of us. People couldn't wait for this interview. People gave me questions, and people was excited to hear from you guys. So I wanted to give you guys your flowers and let you guys know that you guys are dope.
Man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I do, man.
I wanna let me take it from the beginning real fast. You guys are from Waco, Texas. Just tell the world how was it growing up there? How did you guys form the group, and when did you guys know that you guys were like that dope at an early age?
Oh man. Well, I'll say, I don't know if we ever knew we were that dope. I think we just were the kind of people who took, opportunity and took advantage and made advantage of it. So, yeah, growing up in Waco, we was a small town for sure. Never really thought that type of opportunity would happen for us, but it did. We all played sports together, me, Tony, Russell, and Pooh. And Tony really was like, the guy who we looked up to as a singer. He was always in the talent shows and always just walking around, because he was a great vocalist. He sang all the time, and we definitely supported him. And so there was another group in Waco titled The Door, and they used to compete a lot with Tony and the guys that he was singing with at the time. And when The Door got their deal, the lead in their group, he was a producer and a songwriter as well. So he always vowed to come back and help Tony once he made it. And, the story just went that way. Once they got their deal, he came back and he got with Tony, and they put us all together as a five-band group, and it kind of just made history from there. So that's really the, generic side of it.
Let me ask you this: Are you guys? Let the world know the original five members of the group.
Okay, so the original five was Tony, Toriano, Russell, Roger Clark, and myself, Marcus Sanders. We original. And just to go ahead and jump into it, Tori got into some trouble early on, right before the first album was released, and we had to make a decision to replace him, which that's when our management at the time, who was out of New York, they found Tristan Irby, and he replaced Tori. So
Okay.
we kept the ball rolling. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you that too. Though. I'm gonna get back to the early days. Like for new groups that's coming out, how difficult is it just like with growing up with friends and family, and you have to make a decision like that? How difficult is that?
Man, I mean, it's tough. It's tough, and it does. You have to be mature enough, and you have to make the right choice, depending on what your focus is and what your goal is. And I do recall, like, I remember the day we got the word of it, we didn't know what to do, and especially being minors, our initial thought was the record company didn't want to continue with us. But
Mm.
when they gave us the option, hey, it's your group, y'all have to abide by the contract, so it's up to you. And so we just kind of stuck in there and says, hey, and honestly, for a couple of months, we just went with four. We started doing shows with four. We started doing interviews with four. And as the demand got greater, it was like, let's go ahead and make it a complete high five. So, blessings, man, to Treston, and the management when they found him, he was a good fit. He definitely added to us, being from New York, he gave us that flavor, that attitude. So I think he kind of, brought a piece of the puzzle that was not in the fit before. So God was definitely in our favor.
I could dig it. So 1989, uh, is that the original year you guys were formed? Or
I guess like yeah, more like late '88. We kind of started really, thinking it out and putting members in place. And by '89, we had done a demo and signed the recording contract.
okay.
So yeah,
So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go to 1990. The first album was named High Five. Um, I believe Teddy Riley produced some joints on that, right?
correct, correct.
How was that working with the legendary Teddy Riley?
I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable, man. I think that obviously Tony, probably could tell you more about that entire experience, but like I said, we were just really amazed to be in his presence, and to have him working on the project. And all I know is, we really was gonna probably do anything he offered us. So to be perfectly honest, it was just a dream come true for him to give us those tracks, and to have like Bernard Bell and Dave Wade working on the songs with him. And I think it was a great fit because his vision for Tony's voice, and to give that New Jack Swing flavor
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
that it just brought out the best of us. So I mean, Kissing Game obviously,
yeah, yeah,
was a
yeah,
was
yeah.
a pop hit for us, but it was a great New Jack Swing song as well.
I mean, like I remember when you guys first came out. Like I said, High Five. The first album was named High Five, and when we heard Kiss Again, the track, and like we seen y'all on Apollo and stuff. I think y'all had the Uptown Felines on with the strap. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
talking about?
Yes, yes, those were
Yeah,
the
yeah. Y'all
days,
had the
man.
Uptown Felines on with the strap in the back, and we from New York. Like, who gave y'all who basically gave y'all like y'all style, y'all swag? Just who did all that?
Um, well, obviously the record company being from New York, all of the people who were involved were from that area. So we definitely got a lot of ideas coming from that way. We were Texas boys, so they had to bring us up to speed, but
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
worked
yeah.
for us for sure. I don't know, like the stylist at the time was, I can't recall a specific name, but obviously we were trying to be trendy, and just being in New York majority of the time recording and promoting, we kind of adapted to the style that was going on there. So the felines definitely hit good for
Yeah,
us, and we did well with the Apollo, believe
yeah.
me.
And it's crazy because I remember when y'all performed at Apollo, like, being from New York, Apollo's tough to perform at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, like like Apollo, they will boo you.
Nah, seriously, to be perfectly honest, man, and our song was probably top 10 at the time. We were sweating bricks, man. We sweated bricks until we got on that stage, and they literally stood up and clapped for us, and it was like, let's get them,
I
and that's
I
where we
remember
were
this. I remember
at.
that night like it was vivid, like watching that. Like I said, I'm a sneakerhead, so I remember the Uptown Felines y'all had on with the strap on the back. So
hmm
I
hmm
remember that. So let me ask you this though. Even in that time when y'all reached a certain peak, y'all had like one of the top songs of the country. That transition, did you guys still? Because you guys were still teenagers, am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So being a teenager, y'all in New York, y'all with Teddy Riley, y'all on Jive Records. This is like at the height of Jive. I mean, Jive was popping at that time.
hmm
How did you guys handle all that? I just want to know, like, how did you guys handle the ladies, the fame,
Man.
the family? Like, talk that talk, man. How did y'all handle this?
I could tell you we winged it. That's the best word I could think. We winged it, man, because it was new to everybody. So, think about this. We were Jive's first R&B act that they ever released. So they were kind of new to it. We were new to it, and I think it was a great relationship. You know, they done well because of the success we had with it. But like it came so fast. Let me tell you, we was still, you know, it just caught us off guard. To be honest, we were caught off guard. Yeah, and obviously being teenagers, not prepared. You know, we took advantage of every opportunity. It was like kids in a candy store, bro. Believe that.
So even with that transition, like y'all traveling, y'all from Texas, y'all seeing the world. Um, was you guys parents involved? Was your parents still kind of like y'all can't do this, y'all can't do that?
Yeah. So that was one of our you know, we looked at it as a burden then because, but now in retrospect, it obviously held us down a little bit longer than you know, than we needed to. Anyway, I would say but because we were minors, you know, the parents had to be involved. We had to have a chaperone up until one member became of age, and then we kind of manipulated
Wow.
the situation. Yeah.
I can imagine that. I can
Well,
imagine that.
and you know, like for majority of us, we were all like single parents. You know, most of us just had our mothers. I think Russell may have been the only one who had both his parents. I think Tony may have as well, but you know, the moms being involved, not really knowing much, and us just being guys or boys at the time, we wanted to have our way. We didn't think moms knew what was best for us. So, you know, there were moments where we had the opposition and it just made us uncomfortable. But you know, I probably say this again in retrospect, we probably should have had it a little longer to develop some more discipline because, I mean, by the time 17, 18, man, we was off the chain, bro.
Man, listen, I was a young man one time too. I can imagine. Like
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I could imagine what you guys was going through. I remember like somebody just mentioned that they took you guys off the Budweiser tour because you guys were too young.
Yeah, yes, sir. True story. True
Like,
story.
talk about that. Like, just
Um, Man, it was like so crazy because like literally when I say we was on the road, it was time just to throw this out there. It was times when we would just beg, can we just go home for a couple days, you know, just to be our friends, to feel regular. But we was grinding, bro. We stayed on
wow,
every tour possible. Like I think when the album was released, we started touring that December. So we went on the road with Salt and Pepper, Tony, Troop, Father MC, done a couple of weeks with them, came home for like a week or so, done some promotional tours, and I mean like we toured with LL Cool J, we toured with NWA, or Ice Cube at the time, as a matter of fact, because of Boys in the Hood movie. So we stayed on the road, and you know, with that being said, we was grinding, bro. And so long story short, the Budweiser Fest had already booked us. We were prepared. They didn't really look at the legalities of four of us being underage. So I think we had done it was kind of a merge between the Coca-Cola Foundation and the Budweiser. So we were doing
hmm
shows with BBD, and we done a couple Coca-Cola dates, and I think we did one Budweiser, and then they figured out they were underage.
wow.
And the craziest part was the day they figured out we were supposed to be performing in Dallas, Texas, hometown. So we get home and they tell us, nah, you know, y'all can't do it. It deflated us, bro. Believe it.
I wanted to ask you that, like, even with situations like that, like you guys were so young. I mean, I just can imagine you guys was handling situation after situation, man.
Man, listen, bro. I mean, if you know any part of the story, that's one thing we did do. We just kind of dealt with our tribulations, man. And I think once you get used to, you know, hey, man, let's pick up the pieces. You know, let's figure it out. Let's keep moving. That's where we're at even today. You know, like I mean, obviously the biggest setback was losing Tony. You know, and I didn't even really realize the impact of it because I wasn't able to process. But my man Treston, you know, he thought it through, man, and he really was pushing me, saying, "Hey, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it." And I finally made up my mind, and you know, here we are today.
I wanna I wanna ask you. My sister's just sitting me a question. This is crazy. She's a lawyer. This is crazy. Anyway, the Sprite commercial.
Yeah.
How did you guys get? How did that even come about? I remember my sister sent me this, like, ask them about the Sprite commercial. How did that come about?
Man, we just had a lot of great people in our corner at the time, man, and people were working overtime for us. And, with the song just being, it rise to the top so quick that we just took advantage of the opportunities. But I remember when, we were going to California quite a bit at the time and doing business. And so the Coca, I think it's, the Sprite company, I can't recall the name of it, but they approached us and said that they wanted to do something, and it worked out for us, and it was a good fit, man. And, we got some TV time, we got to know what it's like to do a commercial, and that's a whole different experience, to tell the truth.
One of my men just hit me with a question. He said, "Did being a child star force you to grow up too fast?"
Way too fast, man. I mean, you have to live it to understand it, bro. And that's the thing. Like, imagine being 15, 16, and you're not home with your parents for months at a time. You have to grow up. You have to grow up. You have to learn how to feed yourself. You have to be responsible, and you have to learn from your irresponsibilities.
I'm asking, these questions are great questions because people see the fame, they see the lights, they see the cameras, but they don't know the sacrifice that you guys make, man.
Oh man.
Um,
I'll tell you this, true story, man. Like, I got a class reunion coming up. I won't even tell you how long that's been, but I was just reminiscing, man, just looking back at old stuff from high school, and it was crazy. I was looking at some report cards, and like my grades were pretty decent. I was like a B, C student, and 11th grade was when all the fame was really, really hitting. My grades was like awful, awful. And I'm looking at this like I just never really processed it that way. But I'm like, wow, I wasn't focused on school like I should have been, and my grades soared from that, And I even read a letter from someone was like, "You talking about dropping out of school? Don't do that, do that, don't do that." And I appreciate that message because I think it did hit home. Like, nah, you got to finish school as well. At least that's a goal that you want to accomplish. Hmm.
I mean, that's an amazing story because I probably would have never went to school again.
Well, the truth
I
was,
ain't gonna
like,
lie to you. I ain't gonna listen. My mother ain't watching. I would have been like, "Listen, I ain't going back to school. I'm on the road." You know what I'm saying? Like, school would have been
for
the
real. I
last.
mean, obviously it crossed my mind because that conversation came about, and this was somebody who was close to me who felt like they could share that with me. And like I said, I'm just reading the letter and I was thinking, wow, I really don't remember that whole process, but I could see like what you're saying, man, everything's going good for me. I got money now. I ain't
I'm
tripping on
out.
none of that,
I'm out. I'm
but
not going to first period, second period, third period. I'm like, yo, listen. You on tour with Ice Cube. You on tour with Aaron Hall,
yes.
Guy, Teddy Riley. I'm not thinking about going to third period going.
Nah.
Like,
So
I was
here was a true benefit. Seriously, like, so we had a tutor that traveled with us on the road, and that it helped ease some of the pain, but that wasn't the best route in a lot of cases either. Because we had female tutors, and I mean,
talk
imagine
that
that,
talk.
imagine that. So all the things you can imagine that comes with a female tutor, here we are going through those changes, and just them trying to tell us what to do, and we in a position like we pay you, you know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, we probably did take advantage of not being present at school as much because we had that option of having a tutor on the road, and we could get X amount of work done, in the process with that. Yep.
Yo, that's dope. Let me just be clear. This Zero Podcast, we got the legendary Marcus Sanders from the legendary platinum selling group High Five, Kissing Game. Y'all already know what it is. I'm gonna go to the second album. I think it was '92. Keep It Going.
Yep.
Now by the time this album hit, did you guys really realize y'all was there when this album came out?
I think yeah, like we had been through enough changes at this time, so it was time to show our maturity, and true enough, like in between, in recording the album and stuff, we definitely dealt with going through that transition, like a lot of people now are in Tony's ear, saying certain things because of the success. And, we just had a few other challenges that you never were even aware of until you get there, right? So, we're doing a second album. R. Kelly is signed the Jive now. So
Ooh.
we meet R. Kelly, we hanging with him, we writing songs, we're recording. So it's a different vibe now, and we're getting more involved with that process. So, just being in the studio with him and giving feedback. I mean, now you think about it, he giving us quality music just as well. And he was like what the stepfather of the New Jack Swing sound, right? At this time, anyway. But shout out to Rob, man. Everything he's going through. We appreciate you, bro. You gave us good music, timeless, quality time.
He is the greatest, though. Let's listen. This Say Word podcast. Let's just
No
be clear.
doubt.
Let's just be clear. R. Kelly is the greatest of that era.
Man.
I mean, it is what it is. There's no in between. There's no blood. There's no crip. He's the best
Right.
of his generation when it
Right.
comes out to music. Unfortunately, with the situation, but he still is the best.
No doubt. It don't take anything from
He's
his.
the best.
I mean, just being in his presence, man, and the way he would come up with his songs, and just a cool dude to me. Everybody else got a different view and stuff, but like I say, we were there before he was the R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
was
he's
still
that.
public. He was still public announcement at the time, and I mean, man, we hung out. We had great. I have great memories from that dude, man, and like I say, I appreciate everything he done for us, man, and my prayers go out to him and his family. And, I wish him well, but so yeah, we doing the second album. We getting through our transition, and now we deal with another issue where one member doesn't want to be involved for whatever reasons, and we have to go through that. Um,
I mean, is it the fame? What happens? Because listen, like I said, this is Say Word podcast.
no doubt, no
Listen, this
doubt.
is the world's fastest, largest growing podcast, and I'm dealing with stuff from people on the outside. It's because it seems like when stuff starts to move in a direction where it's starting to become fame, it shifts.
Nah, it does, and I think, man, it's like it's something that I say is natural because now you're getting attention, you got egos, you got money, all of that plays a part in how you develop. So I think I would say this as a positive effect, like us being from Texas, Waco, Texas, and that we didn't really, we weren't around a celebrity type of atmosphere. We was just country boys who was happy to be there. So with that being said, the contracts wasn't in our favor. We had to renegotiate some things, and everybody was kind of on different pages trying to figure it out. So this one particular member, Russell, to be exact, he wasn't happy. He felt like, he should stand out and try to get the best for what he wanted. And I think the rest of us were just like, listen, man, we're going to work through it. We're going to keep moving until we get there. Let's not, stop. And we were on different pages. So he decided not to show up. We did the first video, Hard to Get Without him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Peep Game. So you go back and look.
I'm gonna go look at that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
go check that out.
So that's kind of how things started getting sour from that end, and so just crazy to spill more of it. He don't show up. We don't really know how to deal with that right now because we want to get this second album off the ground. Well, after he didn't show up for the video, I'm gonna give you some backstory. We shot the video a day before our high school graduation.
Okay.
So I shot the video, wrapped up, got up the next morning, flew home to my graduation. I had to see Russell because we were in the same class.
Wow.
I'm
Small
chopping
world.
up the
Small
man,
world.
small world, right? So, he my dude. I'm like, man, I wish you work it out, bro, but we need you. So stay home for a couple of days, visit with the fam, yada yada yada. Now we got a promotional tour coming up. We start off in Miami, fly to Miami. Still working out things between the group. We get it there, chop it up, chop it up. The next day, we have an accident. Poof, paralyzed.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
hmm
Yes, sir.
So, so
Yeah,
now we really three members. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like there come another tragedy we got to deal with, and I don't know, like that whole incident just made us really grow up. I think that's when burdens got really heavy. We started just doing other things to get it off our mind. And now, on top of all the other issues, here come another one. you know.
You guys were dealing with like my people's always say like real life situations.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's hard to escape the real life situations. Um,
Nah, you can't escape them. I
yeah, you
think,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I just had Kenny Anderson on the show. Shout out to Kenny Anderson, NBA basketball player. He said basketball is the easy part. Life is the hard part.
Right. True story. True
Yeah, and he
story.
was like, when you're doing things in your element, like singing and stuff, that's the easy part. But life is the hard part. Um, it just seemed like you guys were still making an album like every 2 years in a sense, though. Like nobody know this going on. Like,
Nah. And to be honest, man, like to really put it in perspective, our run was only from 90 to 94. You don't even think of it like that. We recorded 3 albums from 90, from 89 to 94.
okay,
Nine,
90. I know
mm-hmm,
High Five was the first one. Then Keep It Going with 92.
mm-hmm. And then we did, oh my God, Faithful,
Hold on,
93.
yeah, hold on. I was gonna Google it real fast.
No doubt. Now
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah.
Google it. So yeah, we recorded Faithful in 93, and it was more like a rush project because of all the issues that we were dealing with, during the second album. Jive was like, listen, y'all obligated to 3 albums. I think we need to go ahead and record it because we don't know what's happening. And we did that in 93. And during the process of recording the album, we were negotiating with other labels at the time. And, you know, it probably wasn't the best decision to leave Jive, but I think that, we just thought of maybe a new, fresh situation would work for us. So we ended up going to Giant Records, Irving Azoff. He gave us a good deal. He signed Tony to a solo project, and he gave the group a deal as well. So, you know, we thought that would work. We thought, let's give Tony a chance to do his thing because so many people were just kind of pulling for that as well. So, yeah, and that's when we never recovered from it. We never released the album through Giant. hmm
The outside interferences, this is a major, major part in everyone's life. You guys' situation, even with the Tony situation, like rest in peace to Tony. But do you feel like if the outside interferences wasn't so like relevant, things would have been different?
I'm quite sure of that, but I think the real part is you have to have a solid foundation within, and I think just not really putting everything out, but amongst each other, people were kind of feeling themselves and trying to, change the dynamic of the way they see it, and me just being an original. And like I said, by this time, me and Tony are really the only two, what I'm saying, that's from Waco that still kind of living the original dream and
Wow.
ideas. So, it was just really difficult trying to keep everything in balance. And, no disrespect to Treston, Terrence Murphy came on board by then, Shannon Gill came on board, which he's from Waco, a good friend of Tony, but me and Tony were the only two originals. So I'm just trying to balance everyone's, and make everything equal. But
Yeah, you
it
guys
just
had the pedigree. You and Tony had the pedigree.
basically,
Yeah,
and so, Tone really had just got to a point where he was like, man, I just need this space. I want to try this out. And I supported him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, dude, let's see where this goes, and maybe it'll give everybody in the group a chance to kind of settle, and rethink how we gonna approach this. And I think it worked out because Giant, had called for his solo project first before the High Five record, and we just couldn't recover from that. We never recovered, and I think that once his album didn't do as the way they expected, he went to Bad Boy, signed with
Oh, he went to
Puffy.
Bad Boy?
Yeah, he signed with Puffy. He recorded mad songs with Puffy, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was, I think that really kind of hurt his ego when it didn't work out properly with Puffy. So things were all downhill from that point. Hmm.
People always want to know like what actually did High Five ever just break up though?
Pretty much, man. I'll tell you that, briefly, we were in the last show we did as that particular lineup, me, Tony, Treston, Shannon Gill, and Terrence Murphy. We were in Switzerland, and we was overseas, man, and just it was like every day was an issue. Every day, something just wasn't right. People were expressing themselves, and the energy was really off. So we just got to a point where, it was like Tone was like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna go work on my project. You know what I'm saying? I wish everybody well, but I ain't feeling this one right now."
Wow.
And that's just kind of like that's how it ended, And I mean, I could see everybody's point of view. So here I am, just kind of like I need to step back. You know what I'm saying? I want to be home with my family, man, and just reground myself and kind of refocus. So that's where I was at mentally. So literally, yes, that was the breakup. We just hit that peak where it wasn't even fun anymore. We would just show up, see each other, do the business, kind of be individually with each other. We wasn't really doing the group thing like that anymore. So that's how you know it. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I could dig it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's interesting. It's interesting even having this conversation because we hear so many different groups that go through things like this. Um, from it could be from a Tribe Called Quest. It could be from Wu
Nah,
Tang.
man. I see. Really all of us. And I mean, like, I wish I could, like, I tell Troop, New Edition, fellas, y'all got y'all originals, man.
Yeah.
Make it work. Make it work. The fans want to see it that way. And
Facts.
it's okay to, to break off and do your thing, but never deprive your fan base of where you started. And if we had the opportunity, I promise you, we would cherish it. You know what I'm saying? So, and you just have to get older to realize that part in life. You understand? I mean, it's like you, your mom, and your dad, even if they're not together, you want to be able to enjoy a moment where y'all could be happy together
Yeah.
as a family. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this about today's music. It, I want you to be straight up. It's it's not the same with the in your era was y'all Jodeci 112, Jagged Edge, Silk. You could go on New Edition. Why are there like no more men groups no more?
Ah, man, I think it's just the culture. It's the culture. Like, we grew up with, and I say real music vaguely because that's what we call real music. Instruments, melodies, and really songs about love and interacting and getting along. I guess now today it's about, I call it microwave music. It's just a quick fix, and you could talk about anything. A lot of kids don't know about the parental guidance explicit lyrics that
Yeah,
came on CDs.
they came on the CDs and the tapes. My
Yeah,
mother would be like, "Yo, let me get that." You know what I'm saying?
and I mean, you had the option of getting the clean version or, the not so clean version, but now everything is not so clean. You can say what you want, and no disrespect to the artists, man. They doing what they got to do, and that's what the public's asking for. But I think the best way I could explain is that's what we used to. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to make that full transition and saying that's what we would do because you don't want to compromise, what you believe in. That you consider good music. And I mean, shout out to the people that's still trying to do it. Boy bands are extinct right now.
Yeah, man.
you
Like,
know.
what happened? Like this like it's just like, man, like there's no more 112s, no more high fives, no more boys two men. Like
The record
it's
company is not looking for that, and I guess maybe it's from a company perspective, it's harder to deal with when you got those egos and stuff that play a part. But I mean, shout out to the groups, man, that that's still touring like us, and that's the one thing we look forward to now. Getting in on the '90s tours and just allowing our fans to see us in this day and age, and still able to just kind of get that um, nostalgic feeling from when you heard the music back then.
let
Yeah,
me let's talk about that for a minute. I know you guys did a show Saturday in Shreveport, right?
correct, correct.
Okay, how was that now? Because like I'm be straight up. If I know High Five is coming to a town near me, I'm going to see High Five. Do you guys do you like it? You like performing more now or back then performing more?
I mean, obviously, it's a different age and era, but I mean, like, I love it now. Obviously, back then it was different because it was new, it was fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to see a real time reaction, whereas, like I say, now it's more of a nostalgic feeling. You got the fans that's your age, and everybody's like, listen, let's get this done by 10:30, 11 o'clock, man. And I mean, we all appreciate it, man. It's a good thing, man, to still be able to do it, and just see fans that still support us
Facts.
from then and now. So it's a wonderful feeling, man. I'm glad, like the lineup we got now, me, Treston, Shannon, Farouk Evans, and Billy Covington, man. We've been doing this I guess about 8 years, 8, 9 years now. At this lineup, and we've maintained the position we're in. We don't really have any issues. They're a good addition to us. They help us complement what we do, and great guys all around. So we just take advantage of what we can and trying to keep this legacy alive.
Yo, it's funny. I'm gonna put you on the spot in a minute, but that 1990 era, like I was like, my dad's a pastor, my dad's a bishop in New York, so I was in the TDK tapes.
Hmm.
You remember TDK the
Yes, I
tape?
do. Yes, I do.
So like I used to take my dad church tapes. I hope he don't hear this. And I used to put the tissue.
Yes, sir.
I used to put the tissue inside the tapes on the end and
And
record
record
over.
over. Yeah, yeah.
So like,
Nah, man, listen. That's the mixtape era. That's how it started. What you mean? We used to put scotch tape over the things and record
okay,
over them. You know what I'm saying? But I would DJ, what's his name, man? Dr. Rock. Dr. Rock used to come on Fridays and Saturdays, so we would get that in and record those shows. And I'm telling you,
yeah, man.
I'm going through my storage, bro, and I got a cassette tape with the very first time they played our song on K104. Yeah, yeah. I wish I had a cassette player to listen to it. I don't even have one available.
Man, that was a dope era. It was just tapes. I had so many tapes. I got a lot of beatings for that though, but I was taping over everything. So like everything. I'm gonna put
No
you on the
doubt.
spot real fast. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions,
No doubt.
and you gotta give me your answers.
All right.
All right. The first question is: Boys to Men or Jodeci?
I'm more of a Jodeci fan. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next question is: this gonna be a tough one. Um, Beyonce or Mary J. Blige?
Woo, that is a tough one. I, I gotta go with B, man. Texas, H-Town.
You
Yeah.
serious?
I'm just saying, man, like
Oh my!
no, listen. No disrespect to Mary. Listen. Mary, let me tell you. What's the 411? I feel like I was one of her promoters. I played that song so much. But I fuck with B. She
Okay.
was my language. H-Town. You
Okay.
know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I fuck with B, man.
Okay.
And
Okay.
she a Virgo. And she a Virgo as well. Yeah.
Okay. The next one's pretty tough too. We'll go old school. This is a tough one. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Mike. Gotta go with Mike, man.
Okay. Next one is Stevie Wonder or Smokey Robinson?
Stevie Wonder.
Okay. This is gonna be a tough one too, though. New Edition or the Jackson 5?
Ooh, wow, wow, man. Okay, today I'm gonna go with New Edition. Today, shout out to my dudes, man. They on the culture tour. They got New Edition, Jodeci. I believe it's Charlie Wilson, somebody with them like that, man. I want my boys to keep living for real.
That's respect. That's respect. And the last question, it's a hip hop question. I know you guys are from that hip hop era. Um, Teddy Riley or Babyface?
Ooh, wee, man.
Yeah, yo, listen. I thought about
Ooh.
these questions.
Nah, real talk, real talk. So I mean, T- Teddy done my number one hit, bro. So I'm gonna go with Teddy, man. When he see this, I want him to feel comfortable, all right? Now, shout out to my man Teddy, man. Babyface, you wrote enough hits for me, bro. Let me tell you, I done got in trouble with you as well. But my man Teddy, man, he was a New Jack Swing pioneer, man. Great music, great dude. We still get to see him every now and then, man. He's a good guy, for sure.
Yo, let the world know what you guys got coming up. You guys tours coming up. Basically what you guys got coming up with High Five. This is the legendary Marcus Sanders from the legendary Platinum Selling Group, High Five. Let the world know what's going on and what you got coming up.
Man, we just doing shows right now. People always ask. We record music. Just in the process of trying to figure out the best way to put it out. Like you said, boy bands, man, are kind of extinct. The radio don't really support us like we want them to. So we have music that we create, but we try to figure out the best way to get it out there. And so our main focus is just doing shows and letting the fans see us out there. We just launched an updated, revised website. Y'all go see it, www.officialhigh5.com. Check us out. We got a lot of photos and videos just from the current lineup and, letting people know that we're still alive and doing well. And I think we got our next one may be in California. We got California dates coming up. I think like March, April, May, something like that coming. We got Boys to Men in July, so we're looking forward to
Okay.
do a show with these guys, man, and just reconnect and let the fans see us with them and interact. So we're still alive, man. We trying to enjoy this thing while we can, man. Yeah.
Man, listen, this Say Word Podcast got the legendary Marcus Sanders, iconic High Five Group. Man, I appreciate you for checking in. Much love, much respect. We see you another time. Appreciate
No
you.
doubt, man. No, listen, man. I appreciate you, my man JoJo. Say Word Podcast. We got to give Sherelle a shout out, man. I appreciate you. And I'm gonna tell you this: we hadn't spoken in a while, right? So we talking, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you in touch with my dude. My dude, he got a podcast," and she made it happen like the next
Appreciate
day.
you,
And
right?
yeah, nah, she good peoples, bro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I grew up with her, man. As kids, we was always around. So that's my fam. Real talk, man. I'm gonna have to come and see her too. Word, word.
Much love. We up out of
Man,
here.
all right, man. Have a good
All
one,
right.
yo. Peace.
You too.